It's game week, the first game week for Anthony Richardson and all the rookies, and sometimes we forget that it's also the first game week for first-year head coach Shane Steichen, too. So he's kind of psyched and excited about the opportunity to go up against Jacksonville and coach these guys for the first time as a head coach. Kind of wondering if he's ready, if he's done everything that he can to be ready for this experience, as well as getting the other guys ready. That's kind of a lot to have on one guy's plate. We talked to Shane Steichen today.
Any update on Zach Moss and where he's at?
Yeah, he's progressing well. He was out there today with the guys. We'll see where that goes this week, but he's progressing well.
Is Shaq still in that concussion protocol?
He is, but the same thing. He's progressing well as well. Yeah.
Shane, does this team have an identity yet, or is that something that will be found out in this first game?
Yeah, I think it'll be found out throughout the course of this early on in the season. You know what I mean? I think, like I said last time we talked, I think you kind of find out about your team that first month. You know, first 4 weeks, week 5, week 6, right in there, you kind of figure out really who you are as a football team. So we're working through that. But again, we want to be tough, we want to be physical, and we want to play fast.
Shane, to the extent that you were able to see Shaq, what were your impressions of the way he came back before this injury hit?
I mean, just his leadership presence out there and the way he sees the game, the way he studies the game, just the presence he brings to our football team out there defensively is tremendous for our Cats. I mean, to have a leader like him, to see it the way he sees it, the way he calls out plays by formation, I mean, that stuff's invaluable, and we're looking forward to that plan this year.
How does the job change in terms of, for Anthony, picking up a game plan versus picking up, you know, what you guys were doing in preseason or just doing an offensive install?
Yeah, without diving too far into it, right? We want to do stuff that he's good at, stuff that we got reps at, you know, through training camp, and then we go from there. Obviously, there's a lot of intricacies into a game plan each and every week. You know, there's different front structures, different coverages, and you got to study your tail off and make sure you're prepared and ready to go. It starts with us as coaches, you know, helping them get there. But I like where he's at right now, and we got a lot of work this week coming up.
Giving him stuff that he's good at. I think in Philadelphia, you guys kind of like went through some of Jalen's like college tape and stuff like that. Is that somewhere along the lines of what you do with Anthony?
Yeah, I think with anything, you always dive deep into what they've had success doing, whether it's in college or since he's been here. You know, you try to take advantage of the things he's really good at and let him go execute on Sundays.
Do you learn those things over the course of the season, or do you feel like you have a good handle of what is and isn't comfortable for them now?
Yeah, I think it evolves throughout the season. I mean, I think right now you have an idea too, but obviously as the season gets going, you kind of feel it out a little more. You know, the in-game stuff, the communication, all those different things. That's a growing process. That's a learning process that you go through with any rookie, not just a rookie quarterback, but any rookie.
Can the volume of stuff that you have up for the game, is it impacted at all if you have a rookie quarterback?
I think so. I don't think you want to overload any player, really, especially a rookie. You want to, like I said, you want to make sure he knows that game plan pat. Again, it starts with us as coaches, making sure he understands the game plan, every play. You know, we have a purpose for what we're trying to get done. Are we going to get the perfect look every time? No, that's not realistic. But, you know, make sure he has answers when the looks aren't there so we can go execute.
Shane, there's been so much talk, obviously, about Anthony and his first start and all that. Obviously, this is your first game as well. What have you done so far since whatever it's been March that okay, you're ready for this, or do you hope, or do you know you're ready?
Yeah, I think, you know, it's like with anything. It's like, hey, you're getting this job or you're getting that, or as a player, like, you ready? Well, shoot, when we get out there, we're gonna find out, right? But you prepare as best as you can every single day to put yourself in position to be successful, and whether that's through your schedule, your detailed laid out plan of what you want it to look like throughout the week. And stick true. And are you going to have adjustments throughout the season? Yeah, to adjust things to make sure it's better fit for the players and the coaches. Absolutely, that's part of the process. But like where we're at as a football team, I know it's a long season, but fired up for this first week.
You've worked with rookie quarterbacks. Obviously, Herbert got thrown into the fire pretty quick. What are some of the biggest challenges that they face on game day? Maybe in their first game?
I think it's just the unknown. You know what I mean? You're going to get some looks that you probably haven't seen on tape. You know, you're going against new bodies, new personnel. I think a lot of those guys that have played in the league for a long time, they've went against a lot of these guys. They've seen a lot of different looks. And I think that's the biggest thing, is just understanding what you're going up against and be ready for the unknown, you know, because it's not going to be perfect out there. And as coaches, we've got to be able to adjust on the sidelines to help these guys make plays.
Shane, how deep do your fingerprints go at the locker room? We're going to go in there and see how it looks. Do you have any say, and do you care about who's where these guys are, offense, defense, whatever?
In the locker room, just like where they're positioned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of stuff. That's part of being a head coach is all those little details. The ins and outs of the locker room, what's going up in the building, what's going outside the building. Make sure we're practicing on the right field today. We're stretching on field one. There's all those little details that you didn't have to worry about when you're a position coach or a coordinator. But yeah, I think you got to be in tune to all those things to make sure it's running how you want it to be run.
And all the things you adjust to. I mean, the running backs room. No JT, you've had Zach. How do you look at that for game day?
I think it's running back by committee. I do. I think with anything, when whoever's got the hot hand, let them ride a little bit and go with that. But again, we'll rotate those guys in, see where everyone's at, and like I said, we'll ride with the hot hand.
Ideally, would you like to know who your guy is? I mean,
I think that'll take place, over the first couple of weeks. You know what I mean? See who's rolling pretty good, and then you go from there.
So are you always kind of a running back by committee guy in general? Is that your view of it in general, or is it just more specific to this situation?
Yeah, I think it's more specific to this situation right now. But again, like I said, if someone's hot and they got a hot hand, just roll with it.
With Zach having it being an arm and not a leg, do you feel like his conditioning is maybe in a better place as he comes back to practice?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Our training staff's done a heck of a job with him. Getting him, whether it's on the treadmill or whatever it is, on the bike, getting his conditioning ready to go. Obviously, he hasn't been in football out there with the guys running around, but that'll be a big process, which he's been going through and then getting up to speed this week.
Have you seen Anthony be able to handle more and more as the weeks go on, just from a mental side of things, and bouncing back from mistakes and correcting those quickly as well?
Yeah, I think so, absolutely. With anything, you don't want to have, guys make the same mistake twice, and you learn from those mistakes and you go from there, and I think that's how you grow and that's how you get better. And that's part of the learning process with anything, any position. Obviously, we got a couple extra days to get ready for this week one. It'll be that quick, turnaround. You got 5 days to get ready for the next one, and 5 days to get ready for the next one. And that'll be the big, challenge for everyone is getting ready for that, next opponent week in and week out.
Sorry about that. How do you see Anthony's patience level in the pocket? Is he so far? Is he look like a guy who's going to leave a little too soon, or is he not going to leave soon enough? Where is he on that continuum?
Well, I think, you look at the preseason games, I thought he had some good pocket movement in the preseason games. And then, again, each week could look different. You know what I mean? He might be able to make some big plays out of the pocket, scrambling, and he might stand in there and sidestep a guy and make a throw. And I think that's always growing, and we learn from those things, whether it's good or bad, and we'll see where it goes.
Curious to know, have you had any, just one-on-one interaction with Anthony just about the pressure he's going to face, or has he been able to vent in any capacity? Because he talked to us about it, and obviously it's not normal, I guess, or for a rookie to come in and be the face of the franchise, but how have you seen him kind of?
Yeah, I mean, we've had multiple private conversations about life and everything, and I'll keep those private, but they've been really good. He's in a great mindset. He's got great support around him, and just looking forward to his future.
Do you think you guys will go into the game with 4 guys on the 53 or at wide receiver? I mean,
we'll see. We're talking through that this week. Yeah.
That's Shane Steichen. You can tell he's got some nerves. He's usually not nervous, but there are a few nerves in there, and who can blame him? This is the first time he's ever done this. Never been a head coach. Then the first time he's going to be a head coach, 1 o'clock on Sunday as the Colts go up against the Jaguars. I got a great feeling about this team in this game. I think the Colts go out and they take care of business, as they have the last 5 years in a row against the Jaguars at Lucas Oil Stadium. Now, if the game was being played in Jacksonville, you'd be looking at the exact opposite scenario, where the Colts have lost their last 5 in a row down in Jacksonville. But this being played here, I think Colts got a good chance.